on coming. It's Halloween, and fittingly enough, we're dealing with the tone of Satan's favorite guitar player, Angus Young.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween. So undisputedly, Angus, a genius of rock and roll. People have wondered how he does it, and he'll say, well, you know, I've got like a 68, 69 SG, running it straight into a Marshall, and cranking it up. But when you try and replicate that, people have tried and they found, wait a minute, that doesn't sound like Angus. So rock folklore goes like this, that when Mutt Lange was producing Back in Black, he said to the guys, okay, just bring a rig like you bring live, because he saw him live and thought it was killer. Brought their rig, didn't sound quite the same. And he said, well, are you doing everything the same? He goes, yeah, same guitar, same amp. But he wasn't using his wireless. When he plugged in his wireless, and Chris Keys, remind me, what is it? It's the
Schaefer Vega diversity system, I believe.
Right, Schaefer
Vega
Vega diversity system. So when they plugged in the wireless, it was like, oh yeah, that's your tone. So the wireless was part of the tone. Now those systems are no longer made, and in fact, I don't think you could even legally use those old wireless systems today because of restrictions on that stuff. It's just, since 1976 or 77 when they came out, things have changed so wildly that you can no longer use that. So the good people at SoloDallas spent years kind of researching this tone, finding out it's like music archaeology, where you pick up a classic tone with tweezers, take a little brush and kind of brush off the dust and see how it's done. That's what they did, and they came up with this. Well, originally they came up with a tower unit, which you saw, Chris Keys, when you did the rundown.
Yeah, about 2 years ago, Angus had the tower unit in his now 2015, I guess at the time, live rig. So that was, he adopted that new updated technology with the SoloDallas Schaefer replica tower, I think they call it. And then this is, right here, the child of that.
Yeah, and it's essentially what they've done. Those original units, it wasn't just a wireless unit, because back then, wireless being kind of primitive, they knew that some of the signal would be lost, so they put in these enhancers. Essentially, let me try and get this right. The guys, Greg over at SoloDallas, told me that the input on the TSR4, this unit, is exactly the same controls as the original SVDS. The input sets the threshold, and that's where it starts to clip and compress as you turn it up. And then on top of that, they do something. Once received by the receiver unit, the audio would be expanded, harmonically enriched, and optionally amplified. And that's where the output comes into play. I've got it kind of at a modest setting right now, but the more you turn that up, I've got the input all the way up because I want that kind of compression. Now here it is. Here's this guitar just straight into the sample. You know, not a bad tone. This valve train is the most kind of Marshall-y amp I have. And Marshalls, old Marshalls, aren't particularly dirty. And if you listen to AC/DC, they're not all that dirty. There's a clarity to that, you know? It's not like the triple rectifier stuff you get today, or the, you know, it doesn't sound like Dimebag or any of that jazz. It's just kind of a big, clear dirt, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. So that's my most Marshall amp, and although I don't own an SG, this is a 69 ES340, and the pickups are the same as Angus recorded Back in Black with, because he was, I think, a 69 or 68, 69 SG with the patent pickups. So that's after PAFs actually got their patent. They went from PAFs, patent applied for, to just patent. So they got a patent sticker. But that's the basic tone. Now when you add this thing, and Angus, everything he does, I mean, he's running all over the stage. He's not stomping on pedals, man. He's doing it all just with his hands and his controls. And really, I don't even know if he messes with his tone controls. It seems like it's mostly just volume. But he gets a lot out of that. You know, it's almost like Clapton back in his Cream days, that kind of thing. Only, you know, a lot more, I don't know. He's a brilliant player. So they say that this gives you Angus in a box, the Angus sound in a box. But truthfully, if Angus is playing it, absolutely. Angus sounds exactly like Angus when he's running this rig. But us, the consumer, will get pretty close, you know. I mean, it's because we don't have Angus's hands or his genius or whatever.
At the very least, you'll get the effect that he had through his amp.
Yeah, exactly. There is you know, to me, you do feel some compression of this thing, and you do feel a little bit of they call it harmonic enrichment, but, you know, I hear some highs kind of come in. See, I mean, just straight in, kind of not bad, but doesn't have that sparkle or that, you know. And that's just a mild boost. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's not like crazy, you know, different. Also, it comes with its own proprietary power, but if you're running it off like a pedal train or whatever, you're going to need to have, I guess, maybe the red or the yellow. Anyway, it's the, I can never keep these things straight, but it's not like the standard one. It's the opposite of that.
Negative, maybe?
Yeah, negative. Yeah, it's a negative. Anyway, it's all on the instructions. Proprietary power works great, but you can use it on any other kind of power if you've just got the reverse. And most of those, you know, like if most power supplies come with the positive and the negative. You use the red one, or perhaps yellow. I don't know. Anyway, let's try with a more modern pickup. Those are the patent pickups. Like this PRS has a more kind of modern humbucker. Here it is, straight. Again, nothing to be ashamed of. Put this on. kid in Guitar Center on a Saturday, just annoying people, right? But just a great rock and roll tone. Now, if you say you bring in input down a little bit and the output up, that'll give you a little variation. Feels like a little less compression. Oh yeah. Just a great nasty tone. Let's try it with some. Let's try it with these P90s. This is my old 56 Les Paul, which is pretty dang clean, really. Like here we are without it. Stepped on that thing. Man, that's a great tone. Oh, hey, we're out of time, Chris. Let me put on a telly and play us out of here. What do you say?
I dare you.
I do. Okay, what do we got coming up this week? What rundowns and such?
311 rundown, which is for anyone that's into gear geekery, would be great because it's over an hour.
Oh, really?
So grab a drink, make a sandwich, and hang out.
Make a sandwich and hang for this mess. Okay, this is telling me that it on. Let's play out of here. Let's put on some crap and go. I don't even know what to play. Let's just see what this is. Ooh, that's kind of cool. Okay, nasty telly.